Hello and welcome. My name is Karen Tucker, and I am an avid fan of aeroponic gardening with the Tower Garden. I have been an urban farmer for the past almost 7 years, and I just love the Tower Garden. I love the convenience of it. I love how fresh and amazing everything tastes. You'll never taste anything as delicious as what you can grow on the Tower Garden. And I love the fact that I get to help save the planet by growing my own food on the Tower Garden. And I not only get to help feed people who need help, people from lower socioeconomic situations, food, deserts, and so forth, but I get to help them learn how to feed themselves and then pass on that information. And I just love that. I love the community. I love everything about it. So thank you for joining us tonight. I'm so glad that you could, and I hope you find this information helpful and useful. And if at the end you have more questions, please get back to the person who shared it with you, and they will get the answers for you. So I hope you enjoy tonight's presentation. Now I'm going to share the screen. All righty then. So Tower Garden by Juice Plus. Save time, save money, and save the planet. The roots of the Tower Garden. Juice Plus is the owner of the Tower Garden, inspiring healthy living around the world. The company is privately held and has been around since 1970, so almost 50 years, with the same president and board of directors, if you can imagine that. It is the most highly researched nutritional product in the world. All consumable products come with a 100% 90-day money-back guarantee. And what Juice Plus is, it is whole food plant power, non-GMO, organically grown, vine-ripened, NSF and NSF Sport certified for purity. It's gluten-free, dairy-free, and the fruit and vegetable powders are also soy-free. And it's easy to consume up to 45 whole foods every day in just a matter of minutes. And it's backed by science. There are over 38 independent third-party clinical gold standard published studies to date. So what is a Tower Garden? Well, Tower Garden is a vertical aeroponic growing system. It uses water and air so that the roots get both. Alternately. It doesn't use any soil, so there's no digging or weeding. You don't have to crawl around in the dirt, and there are fewer ground pests. It does use an all-natural mineral growing tonic that is isotonically extracted from rock and the ocean, so it's pure minerals like what used to be in our soil. It is made in the USA. It is BPA-free, food-grade plastic. So this is for the guys watching. Please do not go down to your local Home Depot and say, I'm just going to get some PVC collars and make this thing myself, because that stuff is not food grade. You're going to be leaching chemicals into your food, which we don't want, right? So this is very, very, very special plastic. It's also UV stabilized. There's no chemical leaching, and it's based on NASA grade technology. The opaque material inhibits algae growth.
Tower Garden's state-of-the-art aeroponic vertical garden system uses both water and air to produce more colorful, better-tasting, and incredibly nutritious fruits, vegetables, and herbs. Tower Garden has a 20-gallon reservoir at its base that stores the Tower Tonic nutrient solution. Developed by experts in plant and human nutrition, Tower Tonic Mineral Blend enables superior plant growth and better nutrition from your Tower Garden produce. The process begins once the seedlings have been placed in your Tower Garden. Here they will be nourished with Tower Tonic nutrient solution. Inside the reservoir is a small, low-wattage submersible pump. The pump pushes the nutrient solution up through the tower to the top. From there, the nutrient solution drips through the central tower using a special device that evenly cascades the solution over the exposed plant roots. On the journey down the tower, the nutrient solution feeds the roots and becomes highly oxygenated as it cascades gently down the reservoir. This process is continuous, providing fresh oxygen, water, and nutrients to the roots of the plants. This patented aeroponic process enables food crops to grow faster than they would in soil, so they can be harvested more often. And it makes Tower Garden the healthier, easier, smarter way to grow your produce.
I love that video. So benefits of a tower garden: it is delicious, satisfying, and convenient because it's where you live. It's more nutritious, it's vine ripened, you don't have things rotting in the vegetable drawer, you don't pick the food until you're ready to eat it. And NutriPoints rates Tower Garden produce equal to and sometimes greater than other raw organic produce from the store. There are 3 studies to date on the Tower Garden showing that it grows a 30% higher yield, 3 times faster using 98% less water, 90% less space, and equal to or greater nutritional content. As we know, there's been a decline in nutrient density, and this is a summary slide from a study that was done checking the nutrition on crops from 1950 to 1999. So we can see here that in fruits and vegetables, they were looking at 43 different garden crops. Protein is less, calcium, iron, vitamin A or S. B2 is significantly less, and vitamin C is less. Tower Garden has clinically proven research. It has higher quality of phytonutrients and minerals, and it was using better than growing in soil perfect conditions, and has a lot more ease. We know that the antioxidant level is equivalent or better, and you're getting all of that with less time, less maintenance, and less water. So they did a side-by-side comparative study at the University of Mississippi using best practices in the soil with organic gardener, farmer experts, and the Tower Garden. And the results are equal to or better. So most of us don't have the time and space to deal with a full-size garden. Something else I like to keep in mind is food safety. You can avoid foodborne contamination, and with the Tower Garden, you know that only you are handling your food. So this is a true story I'm going to share with you. I was going to my local grocery store to the organic produce section, and there was a young man there who had obviously been told to clean the glass around the food, and he had a big bottle of Windex, and he was going spraying the glass, and the spray was getting all over the produce. And I said, whoa, hold the phone. And I called his manager over and I said, I'm not trying to get anybody fired, but you clearly need to show this young man how to do this so that he's not contaminating the produce by spraying on the cloth and then wiping. And really, vinegar is as good or better a cleaner than Windex, and it's not going to hurt the produce. But you now have to remove all of this produce because it's not safe to eat. It's not organic anymore, And of course, we have all heard about the recent E. coli bacteria. There was a huge lettuce outbreak in 29 states in May. Many people I know were affected, not me, because I grow my lettuce on my Tower Garden, but there have also been salmonella outbreaks and cyclospora parasite. And just, who knows what unknown chemicals, pesticides, or herbicides have gotten on your organic produce, because farms are certified organic, that they're growing with organic practices, but they can't control the wind. They can't control chemicals that are being put on a neighboring farm blowing across to the organic. We like to say with Juice Plus that it's better than organic because it's being tested 6 times between harvesting the fruits and vegetables through the encapsulation process. But with actual fruits and vegetables, no one's checking the food after it's been harvested and put in the store to see what contaminants are on it, right? So if you grow it yourself, then you know. So what can you grow on a Tower Garden? Well, there's over 150 plants, 42 fruits and veggies, 51 herbs, 12 edible flowers, and 45 ornamental flowers. And includes some of my very favorites: arugula, broccoli rabe, cucumbers, of course, lots of lettuces, many different varieties, kale, mustard greens, beautiful bell peppers, radicchio, which is another lettuce type plant, spinach, Some people have strawberry towers, tomatoes. My husband and I got over 250 tomato plants from 2 seeds over the months that we grew our tower garden most recently. Basil, oregano, parsley, sage, rosemary, dill, chives, lots and lots of herbs, and lots of wonderful flowers. So where can you grow a tower garden? Well, pretty much anywhere that you have 4 square feet of space, and that's allowing for room to walk around the tower. Takes up about 3 square feet of space. So you can grow outdoors in a yard or on a deck or patio during your growing season. Here in Colorado, our growing season is pretty short. It starts mid to late May, depending on what the weather's like, and pretty much ends by the 1st or 2nd week of October. So pretty short season. Indoors, which is where we grow, you can grow anywhere. Anywhere inside. You can grow in a basement, a garage, a shed, any structure with power. I do have the asterisk by garage, because if you're growing in a garage, it needs to be one that's not in use for cars, right? We don't want car exhaust and other chemicals in a typical garage getting on your food, right? I have one woman, she's very creative. She had lots of room in her hot water heater closet. So that's where she grows her tower garden. So you can get pretty creative so long as you have access to power and you've got 4 square feet. It does use high output, long lasting LED grow lights that are very energy efficient. And with grow lights, you can grow year round. So here's some outdoor examples. A beautiful tower on a deck. Look at that beautiful cabbage, and there's some Swiss chard on the top. You can see the red, just a very, very happy tower. And then here is a very wild and crazy boisterous tower next to someone's swimming pool. So those are definitely some options. And here's my tower garden from a couple years ago, showing the indoor life cycle: 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and 6 weeks. Now, the water and mineral water is on a pump timer, and we run it 15 minutes on, 15 minutes off, because here in Colorado, it is very dry. Places like Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, we're essentially in a high desert. So we have to run the water more frequently because there's no humidity in the air. If you live in some place Northeast, Florida, Texas, West Coast, other parts of the country where there is humidity, you could probably run it for 15 minutes on, 45 minutes off, right? So it depends on where you live. And then the lights, if you're growing indoors, is on a separate timer. The plants can take light up to 20 hours a day, and you get a real big crop if you're leaving the lights on that long. But we have our tower garden, as you can see here, in our breakfast nook. And the lights are very bright at night, and so we elect to just run the lights 12 hours a day from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So you get to choose what works for you. But here on my left, might be your right, is 2 weeks from seed. You can see these are just seedlings that are just getting going. The middle picture is 4 weeks from seed. You can start eating lettuces and herbs. And then on the other side, we have 6 weeks from seed, where the plants are very mature and you are ready to eat and enjoy most everything, except for things like tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers. Those are usually in the 8 to 12 week category. So here in the center is our tower garden at 12 weeks. And these are older lights. We were one of the first people to buy a tower garden. At that time, it did not come with lights, so we had to rig our own. And so the modern lights, which you'll see here in a bit, look much more polished. But this is our down and dirty binder clip PVC pipe version that we made. But here is our 12-week, very full, very happy tower garden looking out at the snow. So we enjoy fresh vine-ripened tomatoes that taste like heaven on Halloween and on Thanksgiving and Christmas morning and New Year's Eve and every time of the year, right? There's also delicious cucumbers and bell peppers, and our favorite is what's called a cat salad, which is cucumber, arugula, and tomato. And oftentimes my husband and I don't even bother making a salad. We have tower talks. So he gets home from work and we just both kind of wander around the tower garden, pulling off fresh veggies and munching on them, and have that as our salad while dinner's cooking and we're kind of catching up our day. And it's just amazing. I never thought in my life I would eat a salad without salad dressing, but the produce is so good. You don't even need salad dressing. Right, so now here is the modern version of things, the new LED lights and microgreens extension. So on the far side, you can, with the arrow that has 28 plants, this is the basic tower plus a traditional extension unit. The basic tower holds 20 plant ports, and you can add 2 more rings and get another room for 8 more plants. And they have the support cage and the modern LED lights on that tower. And then in the middle, we have a basic tower with the 20 ports, very luscious dark green plants growing, and the lights. And then the other side is just a picture of the microgreens extension kit. And so if you take the basic tower and were to add the microgreens extension, you could grow up to 32 more plants, or a total of 52 plants in 4 square feet. Basically, a tower garden can grow the same amount of produce it would take 16 square feet of land to grow. So it really does save space. Who's it for? No green thumb required. I am testimony to that. My houseplants, I just peeled off a bunch of dead leaves today. They're jealous of the tower garden because the tower garden is always fed and watered and has plenty of lights. And my houseplants, not so much. So they're jealous of that. So you don't have to have any prior growing experience. What I do recommend, though, if you are new to gardening and farming, you've never done anything like this before, and you say, I'm a bona fide black thumb, what I would encourage you to do then is just grow greens and lettuces and maybe a few herbs to start off with and get your feet wet. That's pretty user-friendly. There's not a lot of maintenance you have to do. When you get into things like fruits and the tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers, and you get real wild and crazy and do squash and cantaloupe and watermelon and strawberries and all that stuff, which, sounds amazing. There's a lot of work involved. There's a lot of pruning, and you have to know what you're doing. And I just wouldn't want someone to have a bad experience because they dove in too deep. So you kind of want to get your feet wet and learn and see how things work. And then as you get more experienced, you can do more and more challenging things. But experts love it just as much as beginners. It's for individuals and couples. It's easy to assemble and maintain. True story, and this is for the ladies. It takes, on average, a man 2 hours to assemble the tower garden. It takes, on average, a woman 45 minutes. And that's because women read the instructions and follow them. So if you follow the instructions and there's a booklet and a video, it goes together pretty quickly. But, if you don't, then it's going to take you longer, right? It takes less time to manage. It does feed and water itself. We check our water once a week. And we usually put in about 3 gallons when the tower is really going full, maybe 5 or 6 gallons a week. And again, we're in a very arid climate. And that's just adding mineral tonic and water to the tower. You're supposed to once a month flush out the tonic water and fill with fresh. We really do that about once every 3 or 4 months, I'll be honest with you. And you don't have to have any special tools, but the metal supports that all of the rings of the tower stack on, it's much easier to tighten them if you have a crescent wrench. I'll be honest with you there. Of course, it's easier on the back, hands, and knees, so a lot of older couples really enjoy it because you don't have to dig in the dirt. And of course, it can be accessible for people who are in a wheelchair. There's no dirt to dig in, no weeds to pull. And I have friends who love digging in the dirt and they love pulling weeds. And bless them all. What they do with their tower is they grow their lettuces on the tower, and then there are things like squash and beans and all that kind of stuff in the ground. And of course, they'd have to grow their carrots and potatoes in the ground because you can't grow those on a tower garden, nor can you grow anything that grows on a bush or a tree. And the great thing is using their tower garden to grow their lettuces and greens, the rabbits are not able to just forage and decimate the entire crop, right? Because it sits, about 2.5 feet off the ground. And there's fewer bugs and pests to deal with. And if you grow indoors like me, there's virtually no pests to deal with. So that's awesome. It's also for families. It's a fun family activity. It encourages learning and a greater environmental awareness. Studies show that kids who help grow their food are more likely to take interest in what they eat and make healthier food choices. And they're excited about eating their fresh fruits and veggies every day. It's so cute. Little kids like to name their plants and come out and check their progress. And then they're so excited to eat a salad that they grew themselves. Also wonderful for education in schools. There is a standardized curriculum available that teachers can download for free for pre-K through 7th grade. And they are working on curriculum for 8th grade through 12th grade. The curriculum was developed by the Buck Institute in cooperation with Stephen Ritz and the Bronx Green Machine. And the curriculum meets or exceeds all of the following standards: NSS, National Science Standards, STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and math, CCSS, Common Core State Standards, NGSS, Next Generation Science Standards, and PBL, Project-Based Learning. So lots of things are crossed off the list with the Tower Garden and its curriculum. Here is a great thing to know what kids will learn. They're going to learn about healthy living and nutrition. What does healthy food do for us? Where does our food come from? What is the environmental impact? And learn about green ecology. What is the planetary climate change and population density doing to how we grow and get our food? How does drought affect our food supply? And what is a food desert? And there's also opportunities to learn about business skills and food prep and more.
There is a myth that marginalized communities want cheaper food. No, they want healthy food. Kids are getting fatter. They're getting sicker. I have 200-pound 6th graders. And to me, that's appalling. I can't accept that. It's just not right. Listen, when kids lose weight and they go home and they're bringing food home to their families, and grandparents are getting involved, and parents are getting involved, and people are talking about what's going in their bodies. Plant by plant, classroom by classroom, we're changing outcomes and we're changing destinies. I have kids who are teachers now. I have kids who are aspiring to things and jobs and places that they've never imagined. That to me is exciting. Put a seed in the ground. Put a seed in the ground. It's that simple. There is a myth.
So in addition to educational opportunities, there's also a philanthropic aspect to the Tower Garden. So the first one is Boys and Girls Clubs. The Juice Plus company has said that they will contribute for free 1 Tower Garden to every boys and girls club in the United States of America, quite a few of those, with the provision that a representative at the proper level will commit to overseeing the project and bring in community help around that to really get it going. But that's really incredible, right? There's also Veterans to Farmers and other similar programs that are giving veterans an opportunity to get back in the workforce in a way that acknowledges and works with their PTSD issues and gets them in a positive green growing environment. There are opportunities to feed the homeless and others in need. In fact, you can grow yourself just as an individual extra produce and donate that extra produce to food banks through Feeding America and other ample harvest. And there are people who are creating food banks and trying to help compensate for food deserts through church programs and missionaries. Right now, the Tower Garden is just in the United States and Canada, but we're hoping sometime in the year of 2019 to move into Europe, and then hopefully someday down to Africa and South America and places where it would mean so much for people who struggle to get healthy food and struggle to have enough water to grow food. So that's all in the works. And here are a couple examples.
We are the one and only Boys and Girls Club Technical Training Center in the country right now.
We are working in job development for kids and young adults that are ages 16 through 21. We have placement of 100% for the last 2 years of our graduates.
We were fortunate enough to receive a wonderful donation from NSA Juice Plus. We got Tower Gardens to go on our empty patio. That really allowed us to take our culinary arts to a whole other level. And they inspired what we call now the Garden to Groceries project. And so the idea of the Garden to Groceries project is that students are actually utilizing the Tower Gardens to grow fresh herbs like basil, oregano, cilantro, dill, peppers, tomatoes as well, producing products such as pesto sauce, picho de gallo, lemon, olive oil, rosemary bread, and selling them to the Memphis community.
We have a bread team, a hummus and pesto team. We have a picho de gallo team, and we have like a pita chip, pita bread team. And we all just get to work. Everyone just does what they have to. Sometimes we might chit-chat, and we get back to work.
So the first thing they introduced me to was pesto. I was like, what is pesto? Like, what is that? And so she handed me the recipe, and she got describing what do we use it for. And that was the first thing I learned. And when they showed me that recipe, from then on, I was the pesto queen.
When I see the people come up and we be like, would y'all like to try samples? And for them to enjoy it, it's a real good feeling, because you're like, I wonder if they're going to like it, or is they not going to like it? And then when you see their face like, oh my God, it's so good, I just be like, yes. I was like, they enjoying it, and I was like, we did a good job.
I go to the farmer's market, and I love the farmer's market because I don't know why, it's just something about me meeting new people is always amazing. It's just something new, because it's a new person, a new vibe, a new feeling. And I just like to talk to them, and would you like to sample this? Would you like to sample that? When they sample it, they be, because one, I know how it tastes, so when they taste it, when they say it's delicious, this is exactly what I say. I was waiting on that. I was expecting to hear that, because it's just delicious.
Having this program is so important because it informs the people, informs students, and informs the young about these ingredients, about these foods, so that they won't have to only just rely on a corner store that sells greasy chicken or burgers.
It's really rewarding to see the customers come up, try the food, love the food, and then a lot of times they're like, who made this? This is wonderful. What chef made this? And the kids are like, we did.
I didn't know what hummus was, but now that I know, my favorite thing to eat is the mean and lean black bean hummus, which is delightful.
It's a good feeling to know that we able to do something on our own, and it actually came out right, and someone's finna buy it.
One of the projects that the NSA family did is come out and volunteer, not only to design and draw, but to put on paint to wall in our Tower Garden area. And in that area, they came up with a sketch and then a scene which lightens up the whole area, and plan to continue with projects involving our Tower Garden area.
I am Tornika Harris, and I am a proud member of the Boys and Girls Club.
Hello, world. My name is Ray Parker Jr., and I am a proud member of the Boys and Girls Club. See?
I am Dale Chabelle, and I'm a proud member of the Boys and Girls Club.
And another aspect of philanthropy is veterans to farmers. Started out about 5 years ago with Aero Farms in Denver. And what you can see here is the man in the black t-shirt is Evan Kremer. He is a veteran and came back from service, and his mom saw him struggling with his PTSD and wondering how he was ever going to work a job. And she was a horticulturist, and they found out about Tower Gardens through the man in the green jacket, Jeff Olson, and they set up a Tower Garden farm growing produce for restaurants in Denver, and they hire as many veterans as they can, at least 50% veterans, to give them an opportunity to grow and feel like they're contributing to goodness and life in the world and have a less stressful environment. There's also another big farm opening up this fall in Denver called Altius Farms, and they're also going to grow 50%, they're going to employ 50% veterans. The woman who started and is running it is a veteran herself. And so it's really exciting that way. And the other slide is how Tower Gardens are being used in a project called Step on Vine in Hollywood. There's a place that provides 32 studio apartments for homeless individuals with severe mental illness. These are people that cannot be on the street. And they have built a Tower Garden farm on the roof. And so it's very therapeutic for the residents. And we know that they're getting really good, healthy, nutritious food. And there's just so many projects like this happening all over the country, all over the world. And you could inspire and be part of a project that speaks to your heart and speaks to your community with Tower Gardens. In addition to individual towers, and we have a family trio that saves you about 20% buying 3 Tower Gardens all at once. We have the community garden greenhouse, which is 12 towers, and because there's 12 of them, there is a drip system that you can use to help them stay watered. But these are a little bit taller towers. These are towers with extensions. And it's a great thing for communities, churches, schools who want to really grow a lot of produce to feed a lot of people and possibly to give that to people who are less fortunate. And that is very affordable monthly payment. And while I'm on that, I just want to say that whether you're buying 1 tower, 3 towers, or this 12-tower community garden, the Juice Plus company offers a 12-month zero interest payment plan. So you're not paying interest, but they're shipping everything to you. You do have to pay all the shipping up front, but you only pay 1 month at a time for 12 months. So while you're eating and growing on your tower garden for 12 months, you're paying it off over that time instead of having to come up with that money all at once. So they really want this to be accessible to everyone. And of course, Tower Garden partners with Tim Blank, the inventor of the Tower Garden, and Future Growers for commercial installations. And the commercial towers are about 40 feet tall, and that's a whole other ball game for professional growing. And so that's where the line is divided, but up to 12 towers is part of our Juice Plus canon. Tower Garden is nutritious and it saves money. Okay, it's vine ripened, nutrient dense, and fresh. You never have to throw old produce away. Does that just make you sick? You just spent $15, $20 on produce with the best of intentions, and life got busy, and oh, you didn't have that salad last night, and now it's too late, right? So that problem is eliminated, okay? As a cost comparison, for $1.50 a day, for 1 year, you own your Tower Garden. $1.50 a day, right? And if you consider, and I have a receipt slide here and couple slides I can show you. But if you were to buy a package each of pre-washed organic kale, organic spinach, and organic lettuce, those little clear boxes, you're spending at least $12 per person times 4 weeks. That's an average of $96 to $144 per month, right? And that's food that you're either eating or it's rotting, and then it's gone. It's not renewable, right? With a tower garden, a payment for a basic tower is $45 a month, or if you get all the bells and whistles, it's $95 per month, right? And then you own it forever. So the ATL Urban Farms in Atlanta actually did a study comparing vegetable costs that you buy in the store versus tower garden yield. And what they show is an initial cost of $796 versus reaping $1,435. And really looking at it, it's more like $1,455 compared to the initial investment of $737. So right off the bat, in just a few months, you're already saving money with your tower garden. And here's my grocery sheet from my local Kroger store. The entire bill of $72.66 is produce for the week. Now you see on here there's mushrooms, carrots, bananas, lemons. I bought some cucumbers because at that time I didn't have any cucumbers on my tower, onions. So a lot of things that you can't grow on the tower. I mean, you can't grow bananas on a tower garden, right? But I just highlighted the things that I normally get off my tower, right? And so we have lettuce for $3.99, a box of arugula for $3, a box of spinach for $4.99, mixed greens for $3, and another box of mixed greens for $3. And so adding all that up comes to $17.98. And that's for 1 week for 2 people, right? And the tower garden payment is, what do we say, $1.50 a day? So we're talking less than $12. So with the tower garden, I'm already saving money, right? One of my favorite things about the tower garden is it helps save our planet, okay? So it uses less than 2% of the water needed to grow in the soil. And stay tuned, I've got a really alarming statistic on that for you. Because the nutrients and water is being recycled, right? So as I said, in Colorado, we're adding between 1 to 6 gallons of water a week. And if you live where it's more humid, that statistic would become per month, right? And I will let you know, because a lot of people are like, what about electricity? It basically costs about $8 a year in electricity. Not very expensive at all. It uses less than 10% of the land. World agricultural expert and author of Vertical Farming, Dr. Dixon DePaumier, has projected that in the next 5 to 20 years, we will run out of usable land mass for growing food due to rapid population growth. We must grow vertically. He has a little video on YouTube that you can find, and he shows that it takes the entire land mass of the state of Virginia to grow food for the city of Manhattan. Not even the entire state of New York, the city of Manhattan, which of course is very population dense, right? So we are running out of room to grow food because that land is being converted into housing. I know here where I live in Boulder County, Colorado, there used to be all kinds of family farms all over the place, and they are gone. They're being replaced by housing developments. So where's our food going to come from, right? Tower garden also reduces the need for pesticides and herbicides, and because you're not on the ground, right? So you're eliminating a lot of those ground pests, and you're also feeding and protecting pollinators, bees and ladybugs, which are at risk in our very challenging environment in our world. And then you're also producing a smaller carbon footprint than you are for store-bought produce, and I have a slide about that. So in 2005, in California's ports, almost 250,000 tons of global warming gases were released, and they were attributable to the import of food products, the equivalent amount of pollution produced by more than 40,000 vehicles on the road, or nearly 2 power plants. So you can be part of that statistic, which it's now, 13 years later, so it's probably gotten worse, right? Or you can have a tower garden on your deck or in your dining room and not be a part of that statistic, or reduce how much a part of that statistic you are. The other environmental impact is drought. Our country and the world really is going through some climate change, and drought is becoming more and more prevalent. You can see we have stages of drought, yellow being abnormally dry, which means you have to water, to exceptional drought, meaning like the Dust Bowl from the 20s and 30s, right? Nothing's going to grow there. So we have places where a lot of our food comes from, California and Florida and Texas, that are in drought. And then other parts of the country, in the state of Colorado, we have all the colors of the drought. And in poor Oklahoma, half their state is an exceptional drought, right? So drought is a very big concern. So again, remember, the Tower Garden uses 98% less water, right? That's very important. And here's why. California produces more than 50%, it's actually more like 75%, of all U.S. grown fruits, vegetables, and nuts, including lettuce, which is the primary vegetable that people eat. Did you know that it takes 71 gallons to grow 1 pound of lettuce in the ground? I'm going to repeat that. 71 gallons to grow 1 pound of lettuce in the ground, because the water, as you see in this picture, it's going down on the plants into the ground and away, right? Watch this. Tower Garden is a solution. In a Tower Garden, and here we have Stephen Ritz harvesting some lettuce, you can grow 1 pound of lettuce with only 3 gallons of water. 68 gallons less, 3 gallons of water. Or if you want, you can grow 23 pounds of lettuce with the same amount of water needed to grow 1 pound in the soil. So it is an eco-friendly answer. So Tower Garden, you can grow good health. It's safer, more nutritious, and affordable. It's fun for all ages, very educational. It helps others learn to help themselves. It saves time and money, is less work, and it helps the environment. So how could you not want a Tower Garden? I'm so happy to have mine. And I am so happy to share this information with you. So I hope that you've got a little bit of Tower Garden fever and you want more information. And everything is going great. And I'm sorry we lost some audio here, but I'm not sure what happened. But hopefully you got all the information you needed. And I hope that you will join me in helping to save the planet while you eat healthy food and enjoy the Tower Garden. Have a pleasant evening.